I'd like to just give you a very brief overview of the process for creating or adding sales invoices to the Dimensions database, and then the process by which you go about printing those invoices. So I'll start by going to the Debtors module. I will click on Invoice, and if I tab off, I can generate a list of all of the current customers on the system. If I wish to add a new customer, I simply click on the Insert button up here. That allows me to create a new customer, so I need to give the customer a code. I should enter the customer's address. And if I have the details such as phone, fax number, etc., and an email address, I can put that in now as well. So having done that, then I'm going to give this invoice a number. So I'm just going to call this invoice number 10,001. I'm going to generate it as of today's date. If I wish, I could put in a short description. The description would appear on statements. It's not going to appear on the actual invoice itself. The details that appear on the invoice will be what we record in this detail field here. The first thing I need to do then is to create, or to add the appropriate analysis code. So I'm just going to put this in as a fundraising activity, put in a value. I am setting this up to default to a VAT rate of 23%. Okay, so that's our first line. If I tab, I can add in additional lines, as many as I want. There's no restriction. So I again pick the appropriate analysis code. So I'll just say this is major gifts from Blanchardstown in this instance. And just to illustrate how many characters we can get in here, that's 10 characters. We can copy that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's it. That's as far as we can go. So 10 times 24, 240 characters. So once we've entered the relevant details, I can save this sales invoice. Now I do have the option if I wish to batch this invoice, but that's not essential. For now I'm just going to batch it just so we can actually have a look at this transaction. So that's the invoice recorded on the system. To print that invoice now, I have an option called ACR. I'm still within the Debtors module, so ACR, and I have created a report called Invoice 001. I need to remember the invoice number, and this allows me to actually generate a range of invoices if I wish to. And there we are. So we have our invoice layout on the system, and from here we could choose to export this to a file, and we have a number of different file formats available, so we can do it as PDF, or Excel, or rich text, or a number of others. Or I can print this to a printer, and from the printers then I have various options available. In order to set the appropriate printer, I just need to ensure that I have my print setup, or my page setup rather, set to whatever is the appropriate printer here before I begin. So again, once I have the image printed, I can go back, make any amendments to the invoice layout that I wish to. It's currently in the batch, so I can just go to the batch and toggle it to yes, click on the OK button, and that will post it to the customer's account. It's the financial transaction dealt with, and I should now have a copy of the invoice if I wanted to actually find that customer again. And I can see he has a balance on his account. Click on the transactions, I can see the transaction history on that customer account. And to reprint the invoice, I just go back to debtors, SER, and rerun the report, so I can reprint the invoice as often as necessary.